Guten Morgen, meine Freunde, and welcome to the series which does like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain, and is not into yoga in any way. This is The Past is a Foreign Country, and this week the week in question is that ending 18th of February 1980. Now, it wouldn't be a top 10 unless we had a number 10, and this week we do. Down from number 8 last week, Christine McVie sounded like Judy Zook with the warm-hearted ballad Stay With Me Till Dawn. While certainly memorable for its "hey look, we got a chroma key, everything but the kitchen sink" video, it's also the only reminder of a talent and a voice that suggests greatness beyond the single hit she left us. Speaking of the untamed exuberance of the new video medium, Buggles' video killed the radio star after 7 weeks of number one-dom, enjoyed its last week in the top 10. Still 18 months away from its debatable status as the first video played on MTV, yet only actually screened in New Jersey. The next video, You Better Run by Pat Benatar, was the first to go out to all MTV subscribers. The record had dominated the local charts, debuting at number 17, leaping to number 6 the next week, and disposing of My Sex's equally tech-themed computer games. There was a competing version too by one of the song's authors, Bruce Woolley and the Camera Club, which was rubbish and lasted 2 weeks on the chart, making number 94. Number 8 is Babe by Styx. Someone must have liked it. It made number 3, but I have it on good authority none of them were Styx fans. Though, to be fair, Styx would have been bush leaguers in terms of popularity in this country, so maybe it wasn't that significant. It's okay, no world beater and a little plastic sounding, lots of over-emoting on the vocal there. But it would have gone down a treat with the girls who like to sing along into the back of hairbrushes and make dramatic hand gestures in the mirror while it plays. New wave, post-punk, ironic reggae, whatever you want to call it, it was a thing in early 1980 in the form of The Police, the most exciting new band on the scene, and their hit, Message in a Bottle. I was watching the video for this, doing some prep, and even at this early stage of the band's life, it is fairly obvious that Andy Summers hates Sting's guts, and Sting views the other two as assistants. The second, and possibly the best of their 9 top 40 hits, the weighty and superior King of Pain, was parked just outside the top 4. This has a propulsive energy and an unpretentious lyric which is based on a good idea that weren't always typical of the Police's later work. 1970s Queen of Pop, Colin Hewitt, made a welcome final hurrah on the chart with Dreaming My Dreams of You, an old Waylon Jennings song, which was to peak at number 2 the next week. Hewitt thereafter concentrated on her acting career, and now in semi-retirement is one of the grand dames of the Australian entertainment industry. As we near the home turn and enter the run for the roses, here's some far-fetched and fanciful facts and factoids to give us pause and all-important context. Some absolute monsters left the chart this week. Ex-number 1 My Sharona by The Knack, the frankly ludicrous but still ridiculously enjoyable Don't Bring Me Down by ELO, and one of the mighty Cliff Richard's greatest ever hits in We Don't Talk Anymore. Taking their place were such gems as Always Look on the Bright Side of Life by Monty Python, with the S-word bleeped, Kenny Rogers' classic that for too long in this land lived in the shadow of the gambler, The Coward of the County, and London Calling by The Clash. This week's rocket up the charts is Here's My Number 1 by the late great Kirstie Alley, which shot up 31 places to number 35. The big tumbler was Cheap Trick's Dream Police, down 9 places to number 37. How great was the B-side to that single? It was called Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School from memory. In the States, the reigning number 1 was Do That To Me One More Time by the Captain and Tennille, whereas in the UK, it was the aforementioned Coward of the County that ruled the roost. Number 1 local album was Regatta de Blanc by The Police, which stood at the summit for 2 weeks before being dragged down by the wall. Number 5, up 16 places this week, was Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Queen. A fun pastiche. I'm personally a little lost to explain the enduring love this song engenders. It is a bit of an outlier in terms of Queen's catalogue, but then I'm not especially a Queen fan, so maybe I'm not hearing what the people who bought it heard. If you choose to besplend the comments column with your thoughts, I would be forever in your debt. If you love disco, holler a hearty hell yeah now.
Hell yeah!
because disco was still firing the occasional shot over the smouldering parapets of the siege tower of 1970s throwbacks, and from twixt the rigid crenulations of the castle of the To the Death disco defenders. The Jacksons' Blame It on the Boogie hangs in at number 4 in an unchanged top 4, and rightly so, because it's a disco rock fusion both of its time and pointing to that which would succeed it. Every Christmas morning when the Fowl family assembles to disco dance for gifts, yes, no present for you unless you disco dance for it in our house, this song is perennially on the playlist. Number 3 is a morally ambiguous song that, in the light of the Ashley Madison scandal, should operate more now as a cautionary tale than a happy ending song. Rupert Holmes's Escape, or the Pina Colada song. The last US number 1 hit of the 1970s, this record really exists more as a touchstone for the pre-AIDS generation than as a remarkable effort, which is fine. Holmes subbed the words Pina Colada in literally at the mic as he sang, and since the song's time as a hit, hasn't ever had another Pina Colada. He just doesn't like them. At number 2 is a record that served as a dawning point where we all realised that Michael Jackson was going to be the biggest star on the planet. Here he revealed the complete quadruple threat. He sang wonderfully, he danced peerlessly, he had an unorthodox and always effective compositional approach with his songs, and he knew how to use emerging media to project a distinctive image and brand. At the first moment I heard Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, I knew it was going to be number 1, and for 7 weeks indeed it was, before finally exiting the national charts at the beginning of June after 31 weeks. Now it can finally be revealed in all its magisterial glory, the paragon of this week's musical tastes in the city with the slow brown river and the yellow-orange sunlit sound. This week's number 1. Please Don't Go by KC and the Sunshine Band. I shouldn't complain, I guess. We've had worse number 1s so far in this series. Kokomo and Hello Goodbye spring to mind, but at least they were memorably bad. This one, well, anyway, KC and the Sunshine Band's only number 1 in these parts, and one of only 3 top 10 hits. Incredible given the quality of records that stalled in the teens and the 20s, and their last top 40 hit for 4 years before the irrepressible Give It Up reached number 3. I can't be too critical of the record, it was a long overdue reward for some era-defining music. And when I saw them in 2016 putting out, as they did, a hell of a show, this song got one of the biggest and the loudest cheers of the night. No longer living in the 70s, watching and waiting for the new wave to sweep over us, everything seemed to get a little brighter, a little more vibrant in 1980. Although this week the venerable Colleen Hewitt was our sole top 10 standard bearer, there were 8 other local acts in the top 40, heralding one of the truly great years of Australian rock. The super secret scoring algorithm determines this week's score to be a healthy 6.95 out of 10. And that leaves us at the point where there's no more to be said, at least by me, and I turn the blog over to your comments, corrections and thoughts, and cordially invite you back next week to The Past is a Foreign Country.